Hey.
Welcome in. Happy Mother's Day to each of you.
Happy Mother's Day to you,
Yeah, thanks. Um,
Marvels.
what's up, Marvel? So what's happening with my camera?
I don't know. I was gonna say
Really
I can't
weird.
see you.
I don't know. I started. Let's see. Hold on. Y'all talk.
I begin scared.
I don't hear nothing. Y'all hear?
Yeah, I can hear.
Is it turned up?
Turn it up. Excuse us, everyone, while the mothers get it together. I hope
I hear
everyone's
the
had a
music.
blessed Sunday, a blessed Mother's Day. Those who are missing mothers today, you're in my prayers and thoughts. Don't do her like that.
I'm up here being a mama, a mother.
She all right.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. Maybe I'll come up shortly. We'll see about that. But on the laptop, it's just not coming up. So maybe I'll try it on the phone shortly. Okay, maybe I'll do that.
Leave and come back.
Oh, that's smart. That's smart.
I'm smart.
Okay, let me do that. So, yes, happy Mother's Day 2022 to each of you tuned in. I made a post on social media about those of you who have a hard time on days like this. I understand that. We try to give days new meaning. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. It is also, what was yesterday, like Women Who Ride Awareness Day, something like that. So like there are a lot of things and a lot of ideas and a lot of ways that you can honor the legacy of your mother if she's not physically present. So I like to define it that way. My mother's not physically present, not that I'm motherless. Like that really said something to me. No, you're not motherless. If you didn't have a mama, you would not be here. She's on another assignment. She's on a eternal assignment to do great things. You are her greatest production, her greatest contribution to life. So you got to honor that if you are going through that space today. If you're going through any other space where, yeah, I could have been a mother or I lost my child, and so I feel like I'm not a mother. No, you're still a mother as well. What is being a mother to you all? What is that? First of all, it's a role, it's a title, it's not who you are, but what is that to you? What does that mean to you?
Long, hard days.
Dang. Okay.
Ripping and running. Like being a mother isn't easy at all. There are some joyful moments, but your job never stops. Never. Once you get off work, somebody gotta cook food or make sure somebody eat. Somebody gotta do laundry. Somebody has to take the kids back and forth to practices or whatever they have to do. And mothers are important.
True. So for you, it's more about, it's still not working. For you, it's more about work, like what you contribute as a mother. Ladies, y'all have different feelings?
I look at it as not my life, but a chance to raise somebody to be something positive.
Okay.
In the world, and the mistakes that I made, to be able to teach them, like, hey, I did this, I did that. Do it this way, don't do it that way. And if you do, feel comfortable enough to come and talk to me. Like I'll be your friend, I'll be your mentor, I'll be your hero, but
no, I ain't one of your little friends.
I mean, not friend as wise as you could do whatever you want to do and talk to me in kind of way, but like, feel comfortable enough to come and talk to me. Don't feel like that's my mom. I can't talk to her because she gonna be mad at me. No, I want you to feel comfortable enough to tell me any and everything. So when you do, you won't go out there and make a mistake.
Right. Okay. Gee, what is it? What is it for you?
I've never, with my own kids, I've never really like just looked at myself. I know I'm a mother, right? But it just kind of it was more like a responsibility. So I've never just really said like, dang, I'm really somebody's mama, right? I think that it hits more so to home for me with my foster children. Especially my baby that I adopted. Today was really, really hard for her. And I know that it was really, really hard because her biological mom is deceased.
Okay.
So she's not in care because she had a bad mom. She's in care because of life's circumstances took her mom away. So as it relates to my own kids, like I said, I had them, they're my responsibility. But when I took on the role of taking somebody in who wasn't biologically mine, that's a different kind of love. And much like saying, I just want to pour into her all of the good things that I think that my family has, and just let her know that even though we're not your biological family, you'll always be a part of our family.
Yeah.
and just make her feel special in that way.
And every time I hear Jeter talk about that, I be like, man, my friends are so great.
Right.
Like
A
to,
foster mother.
right. Like that is the most selfless thing you could ever do is adopt a child,
Yeah, it's
a
amazing.
teenager at
It's great.
that. Like, don't nobody want teenagers.
I do, and you know what? Nobody does, but I do. I only take teenage girls at that. I don't like boys.
And see, but that's another thing that people stray away from adopting or fostering Black boys. And you see, I've heard and seen some evidence-based research presented on like back in the day when people would go or either flip through pictures or however, whatever the
Oh,
process
it's a thing
was.
here. It's called the
Mhm.
Heart Gallery. I hate it.
Uh-huh.
It sucks. Whoever came up with it. Oh
Mm.
my god, it's horrible. It is absolutely horrible.
So you just flip through it and pick a kid?
And speaking of my foster daughter, so her brother was in the Heart Gallery, and she had a coma port in the Galleria because they have
in
it
the presentation.
in the Galleria.
Mhm.
Right before you get to the food court. It's on like these little boards, and it's pictures of them, and it has their story. It's absolutely horrible.
So I would
Wait a
ask
minute.
this. I would ask this.
Trade
I would ask this because you say horrible, because it is somebody's idea that in their mind, okay, this is a great idea to put the faces out and tell the stories to possibly push people closer to seeing who, hey, look at me, I need you. I can see that being the reason why, but why do you as a foster parent say?
Because it's like a slave board. You put these children up, and they do tell their stories.
Okay.
And then it's just kind of like, oh, I want you. But based on what?
And see, like the healthcare person is kicking in with me now. Like there are no HIPAA violations with any of that. Like that's their personal business.
It's not a HIPAA violation. And in all honesty, DHR don't really leave them no choice. Like it's something that they have to do. You know what I'm saying? Now my daughter, she was supposed to do before I adopted her, and she pitched such a fit that they just was like, "Don't worry about it."
Good.
So knowing how to advocate for yourself, if you are inclined to do so, to say, "Hey, don't broadcast me. I'm where I want to be." Is that what she did?
They knew
didn't go like that.
They knew how she was gonna pop out.
Okay.
They knew how she was going to pop out, and I mean, in all honesty, she's not a kid. She's not a materialistic kid, and you just really have to pour into her in a different way to even make her calm her hand, put her clothes on for real. She's one of those kind of kids. She's just a hoodie baby, right?
Okay.
And I am a stickler for your representation of me when you leave the house. So, put on something decent, iron your clothes, make sure your hair combed. That day I was just like, living your natural born self, sis. Because if they're gonna take a picture of you, we're gonna give them what they're looking for.
So it takes a mama to tell a child how to respond to situations that they're uncomfortable in. And I really do speak on self-advocacy when it comes to preparing our children for what's ahead of them. That is what that is. You know what? If you don't want to take the picture, let's make it look real bad. Way to go, Mom.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. So for me, I actually verbalized it. So I was thinking about it. Last Mother's Day, I was like trying to see how my daughter was going to handle it. Are you going to get mommy something great? Are you going to make something? Because let me tell you about who I was as a child. Like I enjoyed making things and seeing people's responses to being loved on.
He was like this.
Yes, like open what I get. Like I love giving. I love to make people happy. So like Mother's Day for me, we about to make a card, Justin. Go get the crayons and the stencils. We about to do some stuff. We about to go make a gift. Same for Father's Day, Grandparents' Day, what up? National Day, we gonna make some Friends Day. They get something too. That ain't my child. Like, nah. So
I love her. Don't do that.
I'm just saying we gotta tell it like it is. You have to take your children. If the school doesn't do it, or if their other parent isn't inclined to say, well, hey, let's go get mommy something, they may not get you anything. So this year I wrote from the perspective of being the mother. Like I had to process that thing. Like, look now, who gonna honor me? I'm the mother, right? Don't y'all like what Candace is saying? Every day we do what we do as the mothers to make sure that they're taken care of. They may say thank you, I love you after you get them something most times, but other than that, when are you really like, look, come on, shower me? And it's not even from a selfish place. So this is what I wrote. I need some poetry music. It's pretty good. Sometimes I sit and wonder how God knew to give me you. Like I made sure that I didn't fall or fail while carrying you. I tried to eat my best when I wasn't craving junk and feeling a mess. I doodled names and imagined how you look and what would tell our story best. When you got here, I laid you on my chest and I hardly ever got any rest. Stretch marks, feature changes and my feet even grew a size, but there was nothing that could keep me from looking into your eyes. Our love is unexplainable because you are me, and it's like no other love that God had ever let me see. Take a bullet for you, kill for you, steal for you if I have to, because that's the definition of being a mama. Is do whatever you got to do. I ain't always the kind of mama that folks are used to, but I'm yours. Sometimes I probably embarrass you, but one thing's for sure, I'm gonna always come through. I might make you cry, but you better believe being a mama, I've cried a many nights. When I had to sacrifice, when the story that I told you was just to make the truth sound nice. That's just me to you. But then there's me to my nieces and my nephews, me to the children who see me and feel safe, and me to your friends too. Just knowing what a child needs and being able to give love that supersedes the pain, their trauma, and bad memories. Sometimes mama messes up. I get it. I lived some things in front of you that I'm sure you had that had you kind of shook. I hope that you now understand that I was navigating life all while raising you up above some of the craziness you watched me do, the unnecessary necessary that we had to go through. The one job that even I want to call off, I can't. The one face that even when I want to reject it, I can't. The one person that I can admit that I chased, God's portion for me of amazing and grace. Parts of my personality and my face. I'll always be your mama, even when I'm out of space. When I'm going through, I come out because I remember I got you. You made me a mama. So today is my day. So you have to own your day. So I thought about you in there. I thought about you in there. I thought about you in there. I thought about who mothers are in spite of everything that we go through, in spite of us being told on a daily basis, like, you know what, thank you. Let me cook for you. Let me bring you breakfast in bed. Like those are the things that I think about. How often are you celebrated for the sacrifices that you make? Do you feel honored ever?
I will say not on a regular basis. I don't. But on my birthday and on Mother's Day, Nadia, she cut up. Like on my birthday this past year, she cooked me breakfast and she cooked me lunch. It was really good too. For Mother's Day, she wrote me out this really nice card and she got me another bracelet. She's very thoughtful and sweet like that.
Yeah.
But it's just on those days. Any other time, it's like she want me to hit her in her throat and make her teeth clink together. I don't know what's wrong with these teenage children. But I know she loved me, but it's just on those special days that she just actually just really just go all out for me.
Was that us?
Mother's Day. Well,
yeah, probably so.
Because like though,
you mean to tell me if I call
my mama
Wood right now, ask her, did Diana ever wake up and just cook you breakfast
or do anything special? Absolutely, all the time.
All the time. You were like that.
Yes.
See, I used to do things like that all the time, but with my mama's circumstances, you know.
So she
would always be sick, or she was suppressed because she was so young and ill. So I was a kid that tried to do any and everything to make my mama smile, to make her laugh. Like the reason why I joke around and laugh now is because that was my way of making her not cry, making her smile. So, you know, Mother's Day is like this, making cards and going to the store, getting a gift. I look forward to that because I went out of my way to do it because she didn't have a mama growing up.
Okay.
So Mother's Day was special to her because she had her own child. So, you know, it's kind of different now that she not here.
That's why we got roses. You so sweet.
Yeah. And like with my daughter, my middle daughter, she every day she will make it, you know, I love you, Mom. How was your day? Are you okay? How you feeling? Now the oldest one, you know, we don't care.
He does.
She just shows it differently.
He don't care.
Shows it differently. Like gift giving is definitely a love language that I like to reciprocate.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to buy me gifts, but for me, words of affirmation, like let me know that you're thinking about me or that you see, you know, you appreciate what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. You appreciate my presence. So that's why I'd say, like, how do you teach your children that? Like, do you teach them by not giving them a birthday party?
No. It's just, I think it's something that just has to be in them, right? Now, my daughter, she's infant. Now, they ain't give me nothing, little raggedies. But
they didn't make you a card?
Girl, no, and I wasn't expecting them to. And then today's my son's birthday, so, you know.
I did see that.
He ain't nowhere near me. But my daughter is the, hey, Mom, I love you, Mom. What you do today, Mom? she used to come sit on the foot of my bed. That's the baby that
Mhm,
she
mhm.
is. My son, he's not really like that, but he's still my kid. He's a caring kid too.
What about
So
that
they're
little
not,
one?
huh?
What about that little one?
She's a demon. Uh, she's a demon. She don't fool me. She James baby.
I
She don't
like
fool
her.
me at all. Um, but so yeah, those are the kind of kids that they are. So I think it's just something that's in them. I don't think that it's something that you can really teach because I didn't teach her that. I don't think I taught her that because I'm not really like affectionate. Like they know
Yeah.
I love them, but yeah. So
Same for me. I'm not that. I'm not really affectionate. I don't say I love you all the time or hardly ever. But I show it. Like I show it how I show it. And so my daughter and we are friends. So when parents say, I'm not going to be your friend, no, we are absolutely friends. That's my partner. But there are also those. She knows the line. She knows the limits and boundaries. But that's my friend. So therefore, just like we are. When was the last time that I told you that I loved you? I'm thinking you cool. Let's go have dinner. Right?
Yeah, 'cause she
Let's go
coming to
out.
dinner.
Oh, I'll be there. It's your birthday. I'm gonna show love, but I get that. So if you want to show some love today, or you want to share your thoughts and opinions on what's going on right now, what we're discussing as far as us as mothers, you as a mom, your relationship with your mom, hit us up 994-8949, 994-8949. Also that the idea of honoring your mother, for those of you who are in difficult moments because of the day, Mother's Day. How do you honor your mother on a daily basis? Like the sadness that we feel because we are human and we have those emotions and those memories and that void, that physical void. What are you doing to honor the life and legacy of your mother? Would she be proud? That's the question. Would she be proud? Why are you giving the mama eye? Because your baby up here doing her thing. Well, how do you do that? How do you and are you making your mom proud?
I try my best to think how my mom, because my mom was like you said earlier, Carmen friends, I'm the cool mom. My mom was the cool mom. Like, whatever you want to do, you could come to her. If you was scared to go to your own mom about something, you could come to her about something.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to be successful, and I try to be honest, and I try to be respectful with everything that I do. It didn't take a lot for her to say, I'm proud of you, or good job at that or this. So the main things, like morally things, ethical things, I try to do those, even though I done slipped up plenty of time. But for most of the part, it takes people to tell me, your mom would be proud of you. And I had to really sit and say, would she? And then I had to realize, like, yes, she would, because she wasn't that type of person that said, now
Yeah.
or you was wrong for that, or she would just say, I understand.
October 10th.
Okay.
And let's talk about it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, she is proud of me.
How old was your mom when she passed?
She was 36.
She's young.
Our age.
She was
right?
young.
Do you all think about, like, as a mother, if life changed for your children now, like with us at the ages that we are? And for those of you listening to, do you think about, like, what would your children know what to do? What would they think? How would they remember you? Have you left a big enough impact on them at this age for them to be like, I'm good. I got the skills I need. Or my mom, my mom was dope.
I think about that. I do. I think about that in regards to my own children. I don't know why. I ran into a girl today that I work with, and you know her.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of what her name is right now off the top of my head. But she was diagnosed last year with like a terminal illness. Like she thought she was gonna leave here. And we stood in Walmart and talked for a good little minute. And she just talked about how in the moment speaking with the doctors, they were telling her, we're gonna do everything we can, but we have to be realistic. So she said she had to prepare her children for the worst. And even though they did not want to hear it, it was a real conversation that she had to have, especially with her oldest boy. Because I guess, when she seems like she had life insurance. So when I leave here, I'm gonna leave with at least a little bit of money. I need you to make wise decisions with this money that I leave you, so that you can take care of your brothers. Because that I don't want to hear that, but that's the reality of it, right? So I think that is something that we do have to think about, especially with like life insurance, right? We don't really think about those things in the moment. So do you want to leave your kids and leave them broke?
Oh,
yeah.
Broke and hurt
Yeah.
like, forever. Because like, wow, now now I got way more issues than I had at first. You're
Right.
not here, and I have nothing.
And I
I'm
gotta
really
take care
big
of
on
all your bills
memories.
now.
Right.
Mhm.
And my siblings. So I just don't know.
I'm really big on memories too.
Yeah.
I try to expose my children to a lot. We go
Mhm.
everywhere and we do everything together. So if I do leave here, they'll always be able to look back and say, "Well, we did this and we did, whatever, whatever." Whether it's something free or whether it's something that costs me a lot of money, I just want to have those experiences with my children,
Yeah.
and hopefully they'll carry those over into the next life with their children.
That's what it's about. So just think of like on a daily basis, are we making the monumental mom moments with our young ones so that they will have what they need? If anything, just if life changes that way, and have I performed to my best ability as a mom?
I think I have as far as Nadia goes.
Okay.
Of course, Cairo, he's just 10 months, so he wouldn't really have, if something happened to me today, he wouldn't have really much of a memory of me. But
Mhm.
Nadia, yes, because she makes it clear. She discusses things with Mom, you remember when you did this? Mom, remember when we. So I feel like she'd be good. And I also feel like my closest friends would keep my legacy alive with her and my sister as well.
That's the thing. Making sure that is the thing right there. Having that village that can say, you know what, your mom was super dope, and she would not be pleased, or she would be so proud, like you said, or
Mhm.
dang, you look just like your mama. Well, let me get you this because this is what meant something to your mom. And I see so many times now where young people will be in situations where, their mom she may be deceased, she may be ill, or it may be something that keeps them from her. But I don't see relatives and loved ones like really corralling around that kid to show them like this is what
This is who your mom is or
right,
was.
right.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of situations where that's just not the case, and the kids are left to kind of figure it out. And so y'all hadn't talked to anybody after this happened to your mom, or one sister goes here, the other sister goes here, and nobody's sensible enough to say, well, hey, their mother would have them in the same place as
In the
often as
same circle,
possible.
right, and keep them involved.
Oh, well, yeah,
Like,
that's kind of how it goes. That's just kind of and dealing with
Right.
my own baby that I adopted. It's 9 of them,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody like in a different place. I think 4 of our siblings were adopted by one family,
Okay.
so they're all together, and then everybody else is just kind of somewhere else. But they have like relatives. I don't know the backstory behind it, but I do know they have aunts and uncles.
my grandmother was young when she was killed in a car accident.
Mhm.
My mom's mom. And so when she died, my mother was the oldest of the grandkids. So my grandmother's sisters took my mom in as their sister. So really, in actuality, auntie that
Mhm.
is my great aunt because it's actually my mom's aunt, but they treat her like a sister. So they that is an example of where I did see family kind of like, no, we ain't gonna just let her just be out here because her mom died. Like she our family, so we gonna keep her.
How old was she?
My mom was 24.
Okay, so she was an adult,
Yeah.
but
But she's
still.
still not
Right.
Yeah, it's your mom.
Yeah, because my sister was still a toddler.
Okay, yeah.
So her
Yeah.
mom was very active in my sister's life and helping her raise her. So yeah.
Just, traumatic things may put you out the game for a minute. Like this happened to me, and I have not been able to focus on raising this baby since that happened. So
They
I do
didn't-
need the support.
My aunts didn't let
I
that
couldn't see
happen.
something happening to me though, and like my mom and my sister, like it's just it ain't even a question.
And see, that's why I be so scared because I look at like with my kid's dad, he's ill now,
Mm-hmm.
so there's no telling when he's gonna leave here. That's just me. I don't have siblings.
Mhm.
I'm not really close to my family. When my mom died, I had my granddad. That was
Yeah.
the main rock. He's gone. So I sit and wonder a lot, like if something happened to me, who's gonna really be there for my kids?
So these are the conversations that are vital conversations where you have to actually not just think about those things, but actually have a plan or have
Right. Or a
have them-
living will or something.
or ask the question. I asked the client the other day to ask your children. If that's something that you think about in angst, ask your children. Well, who would you want to stay with?
Right.
They will tell you. And if that makes
Mhm.
sense, you go have a conversation with that person. And I don't think anybody is too young to write a will. Hey, this is where I want my children to go. This is why. You may be a good parent, but you got 15 other children, and I don't want my child to have to figure out a new lifestyle because they're used to being one of two or the
Right.
only one.
And
So
sharing a room with 3 other kids.
nah, none of that. No. Okay. Nah. On the way back, we're going to talk about more as Mother's Day conversation right here on B94.9 WATV in the Abby Award-winning Vital Show. All the Vixens but one are in this week. It's rare that you hear the Vixens in the summertime because, we'll be right back. All right, guys, if you're watching online, thanks for watching. We're going to take a quick commercial break, about 2 minutes. So if you're watching, don't go anywhere. Share the video. Tell somebody. I see somebody watching on the Vital Show page. I see somebody watching on Woo Woodruff. I did not add B94.9. Let me go and add that page right quick so that you all can tune in too. Bloop. So yeah, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
I see we did have to go.
Welcome in, everybody that's just getting here. Mother's Day Sunday. Very interesting way to converse about Mother's Day to open the show. I appreciate the way that we can do that. We can be happy about it and also address the obvious things that people experience on days like Mother's Day. Father's Day is coming up as well. People have those feelings on Father's Day. People deal with things every day, and I think it's vital that we are able to communicate about those feelings. Also, right now, while we're talking about being a mother, therapy, you should be able to have the option on if you want to be a mama or not.
You should.
Right? It could be based on the circumstances of whatever, rape, incest. I'm not able to do that. I can't see myself in that role as a mother. Like if I listen to this show and just heard what y'all described, I may not want that. I'm not gonna have the support needed,
financial restriction.
Right. The partnership, the person and I immediately, like as soon as I found out, they showed me their true colors. And oh man.
If you have a history of miscarriages or a history of ectopic pregnancies, like they're not bringing any of that into this thought of controlling whether a woman what a woman does with her uterus. I'm just not.
They don't care.
It's unfair. And then on top of that, like you can't supply the formula for babies that are living now.
What you mean?
They want y'all to
It's a
breastfeed.
formula shortage.
Well,
Like
I always have that
I've
excuse.
called almost every grocery store in the city of Birmingham looking for Gentle Ease Infamil, and every store is out of it. I just by chance rolled up on one store yesterday that had it behind the counter though. But you can't even order. I looked on Amazon. You can't even order it. So how are you going to force women to have babies and you can't even supply the formula for the babies that are living now?
Is that because of the issues that was going on with Similac, Black, or you don't know?
I don't know.
Well, that's what
And
they
it
were
might have
saying.
been because of the Similac, recall
Mhm.
that they just went over to Enfamil. But what about those of us who are already using Enfamil?
Yeah.
So formula. Okay, so being able to feed children. If I have another child, that's literally another mouth to feed.
And then I've seen so many posts on Facebook. Well, y'all can breastfeed them. Breastfeeding is not easy.
It's not for the weak.
It is not for the weak. I did it for 4 months right before I went back to work. And yes, I stopped at that point because for one, it hurts, cracked nipples, bleeding. They just leak out of nowhere. You have to worry about producing
Make it ugly
enough.
for 'em, Black.
Like, it is not this beautiful thing where you see these pictures posted of women just holding babies. Just
Yeah.
like, no, that's not what breastfeeding is. Stop it.
Mm.
Stop. It's difficult. You have to eat certain foods in order to keep producing this milk. Like, no.
I have
It
told.
sound good though.
It sounds good.
It sounds beautiful. You know, because you think about if a woman's body can produce milk and all these different substances to create a whole life, right? Oh man, that is a beautiful thing. But if that's not what I want to experience and I just want to have sex, let's just be real about it.
Right.
Let's just be real about it. That's part of the conversation that people don't really like to have. Hey, mistakes happen. I just had sex and got pregnant. I don't want to keep the baby.
And I forgot they'll get a
child.
Plan B from the grocery store because they were
Right.
closed.
I've heard of Plan B is not even working sometimes.
Well, you should have been on birth control. I was.
It made me
Right.
fat. I'm trying to be skinny thick.
Well, you should have used the condom. We did.
I want to feel the vein.
All right. So listen,
Yeah.
things can happen. And so when those things happen, the option is not yours to make. The choice is not yours, ladies. You don't have an option. You are going to have to carry this child. I got a question from one of our faithful viewers and listeners saying, so what about the majority of abortions that happen just because they can?
That's their business.
That's their business and their money.
Just because they can't. So explain that. What does he mean?
What he saying?
Because you all jumped in and said that's their business.
That's their business.
What about the majority of abortions that happen just because they can't? Is
that
that
sounds like
like
some white supremacy control type stuff? Because who are you
I'm not
to tell
I'm not
me?
understanding this question though.
He's saying,
If a
what
woman-
about the
oh.
abortions that people have just because they can? So
Oh,
I got pregnant.
It's
Oh,
their
the ones that
body because they
Yeah.
can, they want to.
Yeah, I got pregnant this month and aborted it, and then 6 months later.
you having another abortion? Okay,
But I can do that because that's my choice.
But
That's
then
your-
when
that's your
I
form
when
of
I
birth
bring
control.
in 3, 4, 5, 6 children I can't take care of and I get on food stamps and Medicaid, then you
And so,
what is
right,
your
then
taxes
folks complain
paying
about
for?
that too.
So with catch 22, I guess.
So okay. Does anybody know the origin? Well, we know Roe versus Wade. We do know that. We know that that's kind of where this stuff started. But why? Why? I want to know politically when the government got so involved in reproduction.
Personal lives.
Yeah, like
Because
reproduction.
That's a personal decision.
Now, you know, they say during slavery, the more children you have, the more workers we have. I hadn't heard of reproduction in any other conversation.
These people don't want
Farmers
to go to
maybe?
work. What are you doing?
I don't know where it's coming from. So here's a comment that came in earlier from Mr. Michael. Thank you for watching and listening as well, Michael. He says if they are willing to overturn a 50-year-old law, what else are they willing to overturn? The Dred Scott decision created the mechanism for slaveholding states to effectively create bounty hunters who went to free states under the guise of enforcing laws of the slave states that were not recognized by the free states. This, in turn, was one of many reasons that it led to the outbreak of the Civil War. Would the overturning of Roe have a similar effect for similar reasons? Okay. So would this start some type of feminist war or some type of
I believe it. Just let people do what they're gonna do with their bodies,
Uh-huh.
and everybody should just stay in their own lane. I just don't see the need or the benefit in controlling how a woman decides to live her life and what's best for her.
Well, every American will see how every senator stands. Um, on Wednesday, the vote will go down.
And that's a part of the problem.
Yeah, on Wednesday, it could be a possible overturning of the landmark 1973 Roe versus Wade ruling. Now, what this means is what everybody needs to be looking into. Like, what parts of it will be overturned? I see some quotes here, but I want us to kind of look into a little bit deeper why why is it even a thing? Why is it even coming up as a concern for them to vote on? And why is Chuck ringing the bell in the middle of the show? Um, it's open. It's open. You just should pull it. So yeah, the way when the government gets involved, and then okay, so let's see, we got another comment as well. Nah, there are fathers involved in those pregnancies also. So what about them?
I think it's very rare that a woman just continues on and goes on with an abortion and the father is involved. Now, when it comes to stuff like that, still, you're not carrying this child. You're not having to take leave. You're not having to sacrifice your entire body to bring this life into the world. So that maybe that should be discussed before you have unprotected sex with someone, whether or not they would keep your baby.
I think though, Black. Now I do think that it should be a conversation, right? So I think that the first issue is people should be very selective about who they choose to lay down with. We
Okay.
don't do that. I do believe that if you are more selective about who you choose to lay down with, you may not be so prone to not want to have a baby with a fool, right? But any event that you do lay down with a good man and you
Lay
for
down
whatever
with him.
reason, yeah,
Like
lay
had a
down.
baby for him. No,
But if
for
you
me.
do choose to, fornicate with a good man,
Fornication.
yeah.
What if you're
And
married?
what have you made? Well, I mean, listen,
Okay,
y'all,
okay.
hush. It's some women out here who are married and don't want to have a baby with their husband.
This is true.
You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I do feel like it should be a conversation between both parties, right? Now, what happy medium y'all gonna come to? I'm not sure, but I do feel like it should be a conversation between the both of you guys.
Okay. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, you're in with Vital, the Vixens, and the Victor. What's your question or your comment?
Hello.
Hey. What's your question or your comment?
Got a question and a comment.
Okay.
Of course, it's speaking from a man's perspective. First question: I was always told, or heard at least, that the predominant number of abortions were by African Americans. Is that true, false? Depends on circumstances or how you look at the numbers. What we
Okay, we'll get our researcher to pull that up and see what's popping there.
I sure will.
And then your comment.
My comment is I've heard some statements concerning, I guess, what you just recently read about one of the comment you received, where the gentleman was talking about if this court case is overturned, what would it lead to next? The issue I have with that is I don't think that's a good narrative to put out here, and I think it's stoking unnecessary fear among African Americans in the sense that Roe v. Wade was not a constitutionally based law, but rather it was a court decision that reaffirmed or interpreted what rights a woman would have.
Right.
So to say that them overturning that would lead to them overturning slavery or voter rights, I think that's a far-fetched, because in order to change an amendment to the Constitution, you need so much agreement among so many different parties, and I do mean by parties the legislators, and I think even in some cases, state legislators have to get in line as well. I don't think this country is at a place where it'll be able to do that. Particularly if you have to get all the congressmen and senators on board. I think it's like a 2/3 vote then at some instance it may or may not have to go to the states, and then all the governors have to sign. That's not going to happen.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for calling, ladies and gentlemen. He said a lot there. First part of it about the statistics of Black women being the top.
It's not that big of a.
What we get the money from?
All right. So in the United States,
I'll tell you.
all right. So it's a total of 100%. So 21% of abortions are Hispanics, 7% are other, 38% are Black women, 33% are white. So there's only a 5% difference in Black women and white women who are having abortions.
Bobby Jackson Jr. said, "That's a lie. The majority is white." That's what he said.
I was gonna say because report it, because you can write whatever you want to on these surveys and stuff. We all know they ask what's your race. You can put other. You can choose not to answer.
Specify at all.
We were having a conversation at work the other week, and one of the doctors said well, a lot of people have the misconception that it's majority Black people who have Medicaid. She's like, no, I see a lot of rural white people that are on Medicaid and getting this government assistance. It's not just Black people.
Man, I seen a white lady in the store the other day with a food stamp code. I about died.
Why?
But they said up them.
They be hiding them.
See,
yeah, they get it the most.
You got to get in the mic.
Can't hear me? Oh,
no.
My bad. I don't know how this works, folks. I just pull up. That's
3
why.
weeks in.
What now? Slow down.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Slow down. I told you, festive. I went to a wedding. I went to my man's wedding today.
We'll talk about that.
If you run the numbers, I mean, there are more white people than, although they're going to be outnumbered in 2040, something like that. Where
everybody will be a shade of brown.
Yeah, but if you run the numbers, that's the thing about especially rural, poor Republicans. You vote against your interests every time. Just because you voted on a company line. So
right.
You should not be shocked by that.
And see, so that for me, the idea of that, that we talk about the narrative that was created. Why is that a part of the narrative that whites don't receive or apply for the benefits? And I mean, I'm going to say this, hopefully no one's offended, because this is a term that is used. Where do you think trailer park trash came from?
Right.
What do you think?
Well, I think they just be so shiny. I kind of live on the borderline of an almost white community. So they be so shamed. Then you got me. I go in there and I swipe my code, punching no man, and I don't do it with no hesitation.
And call it a code. If it's a code, we know you swipe
around code. I'm playing with a code
with 2 buttons.
For a lot of them, I think the mentality is, Republicans are all about rugged individualism, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, whatever. But for a lot of them, that's some shameful thing. That's one step away from being a N-word to them.
So the misconception is equal on both sides. We are embarrassed because we don't want to look like you.
Right. Well, baby, give me your cord.
I swipe your cord, 2 baskets. Comment here. No, blacks only make up 11% of the population, but 38% of abortions. And then another comment from the same commenter, Ms. Davey, it's not simply about the woman, though. And that's the problem with that narrative. It takes a man also. Y'all just erase the man. If she wants it, ... he is liable. If she aborts, ...
y'all be
he
lying.
has no say so.
Make
it make sense.
Y'all be lying. Y'all be wanting these babies till they get here, and then y'all disappear.
Then you don't want to pay child support for all of these babies that you out here making sporadically with these different women.
Then you want to take me on Maury.
Yeah, you are not the father.
994-8949 is the number. 994-8949 is the number. We're not answering the question that you're looking to have an answer to. Call in. This is the Vixen. So these are just women who have the option to have an abortion if we choose to. And I don't know of any time or any situation where, I'm telling a story. I've heard of people say, well, yeah, I asked him. He said he wanted me to keep the baby, but I can't. I just cannot do it. And the decision was made with or without being preventative in those situations. However, gentlemen, if you want to deal with the entire equation, the phone line is open. 994-8949. Call us and let us know your opinion on the abortion situation, because it's not a Supreme Court. Well, yeah, it went all the way up. So what are we talking about? It's not.
I don't know what that man was talking about.
I don't understand that part.
I mean,
it's just completely wrong.
And the question is, it's about women. controlling a woman's body. They're not talking about men getting a vasectomy. That's
Right.
not coming up. So
Right.
it's not part of the equation.
Here's the crazy thing too, man. I've known some people who've gotten abortions. I don't know it's not a single woman who has gotten an abortion that they don't think about what they did every day.
Right.
Mhm.
And so, like, for like men and Republicans to legislate this thing is
Right.
insane. And do y'all know the history of Roe v. Wade?
Give it to us.
Go ahead.
Well, y'all look it up. But here's a
No,
great
I wanna Chuck. We want Chuck.
No, here's
Oh,
a crazy
man.
thing. Here's the crazy thing about this. It's two parts. It's Roe v. Wade and Casey versus Planned Parenthood. All right. So y'all look those two things up. But the crazy thing about Roe, I think her name was like McCorvey. Like they made up the right to keep it anonymous.
We remember that from school.
But when y'all look and see the governors that passed that into legislation in the 70s, it was all Republican governors. And see the flip. Y'all go look at that.
So when you think about who's making who this is an issue to, why is it an issue? Now, these same people are now like pro-life, right? Super pro-life. And they say that it's liberal to be pro-choice. Okay, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna reach out and have an interview. I'm just gonna interview somebody that's pro-life, that's a politician, because I really want to know: is this a hard, emotional, spiritual situation, or is this just something else for us to control?
And
It's a
I
voting
don't
line.
I
It's
don't
about
want-
party. It's about people staying in power. That's what this is about. Don't get
This is
not
about
get
people
this
staying
twisted.
in power. Like me going 9 months with a baby that I'm not equipped to carry, or whatever the case may be, is about politics.
Yes.
In short,
Because here's the deal. I don't actually think the Supreme Court is about to overturn this. To be honest with you. I think this is about midterm elections. I think that's part of it. And I think that if they overturn Roe v. Wade and they outlaw abortions, they literally have nothing else. There's no more fear mongering, right? They literally have nothing else to run and campaign on anymore. So just watch it now.
I don't want to
Alright.
hear from nobody that don't have a uterus.
Fair.
I don't.
No, you should, because those are the people that are making the law.
You don't make
But-
a law on my uterus when you
Without a
don't have
uterus.
one.
That's what you need. Those are the people you need to holler at.
that should
Crazy.
be your campaign slogan. No uterus, no what? No voice.
Nothing wrong with
Oh,
Uterus.
no.
I gotta make up a word, and I'm gonna think about that and come back to you on Sunday.
Yeah, like, okay, we're thinking about that. Guys, see all those opinions now. Don't just write them. We want to hear it. If you can make this make sense from a male perspective, or from another perspective, or from a non-political perspective, we want to hear it. 994-8949. Your thoughts on why this makes sense, or what part of the conversation is missing, because it may not be that it doesn't make sense. Your part may just be missing from the conversation.
If more women were in control
Mhm.
of the country and they dictated that every man could not have a vasectomy, men would be going nuts. I'm just telling you.
I just thought about like the whole situation with Neo, how he made his ex-wife get
Ooh-wee.
her tubes tied because he didn't want to have a vasectomy.
Mio got a wife?
He had one.
He has a new
Her
one.
fiance.
He got a new one now, and she got new babies with him.
I thought y'all liked the same thing.
No.
I don't know.
But he never
gosh.
married that girl.
And he told her to
Yeah.
have to get
Mhm.
her tubes tied, and she did because he refused to have a vasectomy.
Neo like women?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Okay. So look, let's go to the.
I thought the same thing too.
Okay.
Well, for sake of
This man had a whole wife for a lot of years, didn't it?
they.
That
I
don't
don't.
matter.
Yeah,
Everybody
it
fluid.
doesn't.
Well, I mean,
But the point
Oh,
is, she allowed a man to make a decision for her.
well, she's a big stupid dummy.
But see, this is the thing. They're about to make us
Thank
all
you.
be big, stupid dummies and unable to make decisions about our own bodies. And men can just
Well,
float
that
around
makes
here and
them big
continue.
stupid dummies, not us.
Like, and he hauled off and had some more babies with somebody else.
Instead of just saying, "Hey, I don't want to have any more babies with you."
Right.
What? But man, oh wow, he needs to call in and let us know.
Well, who about to get their tubes? That's a surgical procedure.
Right. When you can go in and have a vasectomy, it's a snip. You can go on back to the house.
That's still a surgical procedure.
But you can go on back to
can't-
the
you can't
house
just do
though.
that
You
in
can
the crib.
function.
But you go home and ice them things off and start
you're
over.
Oh my
good.
goodness, this has completely turned into something that I feel I need to censor. Put your finger on the cough button just in case someone says something inappropriate for the airwaves. According to French ain't finna call me, will you owe me $2,000? No.
We clean.
No.
But it's basically the same thing.
Here we go. Overturning Roe versus Wade does not outlaw abortion. It allows states to make their own laws as prescribed in Article 10 of the Bill of Rights.
AV, what do you think is going to happen in the South? Don't do this,
Right.
man. Don't do this. Come on, man. You know better. You smart enough. You smart enough to know.
Like, that's the beginning of it, but
Yeah,
it's
come
going
on.
to go further.
If
You
start this whole
cannot.
states' rights thing, then every Democrat and every black person will have to move to the West Coast. Like, don't do
So,
this.
okay, to that point, just because some people are asking, well, if this is a thing, where can we go? Somebody say, well, I'm going to just go over to Atlanta because Atlanta can do everything that Birmingham can't do.
That ain't the state.
Like, right, Georgia.
That's what I said. I'm
First
going
of
to
all,
Atlanta.
First of all, Omarosa. This
I'm
is
going to
not
Atlanta.
that. So these are the only places that where the rights to an abortion will likely be protected. California, Nevada, Colorado, Oregon, Washington State, Illinois, New York, and what is that up at the top? Is that what is ME?
Man.
Maine. I was expecting Maine to look like something else.
Who lives in Maine?
Right, that's why I
Maine.
didn't even
Maine.
Hey, somebody that can get abortions.
Maine,
Yeah, we
Hey.
can learn how to see walk.
Go over to
Real walk.
Cali.
Yeah.
Well, those are your options. So the
Snoop, we
other,
on the way.
I only named about seven states in the whole 50.
And you got to watch out for New York too. That's not a given thing because
Mm.
part of the history of Roe v. Wade too is like the reason. Like I said, a bunch of like Reagan signed it in the law, right?
Yeah.
When he was the governor of California, a lot of Republicans did it back then. The holdouts were like in Massachusetts, Delaware, whatever, because there were a lot of Catholics there, and so Catholics are, where you have a high concentration of Catholics. So that's why New York might not be. You need to watch out.
And so therefore, like when you talk about the Catholic religion, that
So they don't believe in birth control, do they?
Right. So then you start looking at our Mexican and Hispanic population.
They had so many.
But you think
kids.
about that and everything that plays into the wall, the whole political conversation, people coming over and them being treated the way they're being treated as they come to the United States legally or illegally. And now we're going to control their uteruses as well. Now, this statement right here says it's very important to speak facts to come up with with an actual solution to your issue. The first fact that I have is that as a woman, I am in control of this. I should be able to control this whole being of woman. That's the first fact. I should be able to. Now, the feelings come in when you see that politically there are other people outside of this being that can tell me what I can and can't do. That's where the problems come in. You're going to put me in jail if I do something to my body for either my sanity or my safety.
Right.
Or just my prerogative.
Or a civil fine or whatever.
Yeah, whatever it's going to be. This gets really, really, really crazy. And on Wednesday, there will be a vote made either way. So the fact that there's a vote being made, and we're here on Mother's Day talking about the joys of being a mother, the stressors of being a mother, and the role that nobody that's not a mother can explain to me. Nobody can tell me how to be a mama or what we go through that's not a mother.
Right.
I had to
So I
explain to somebody like, oh, I want to have a child with you. You may want to, but I don't want a child because I have 3 already.
And why you on?
I don't want to take care of another child. I don't have the patience to deal with another child. So don't even take me there because I may have to head down to Tuscaloosa before they put out these
Did
services.
you see that they said the numbers went up drastically
Yeah.
over the past 3 weeks? I didn't know
Like-
that many of y'all was pregnant.
Right.
Wow. And when did you find out?
Hey, happy Mother's Day to y'all too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Look, throw that in there while we talk about not being a
Like-
mother.
Y'all, I came in, y'all was hot.
I saw that. Well, I heard that, and I was like, "So you was just waiting just to see what was going on? Y'all just went and took a bus down there, or what happened?"
And hustle
Like,
too, right?
Like, you know what? Let's just go ahead just in
Get
case.
on the bus.
let's just go to Tuscaloosa just in case. Oh man, this is serious though. It's Vital Conversation tonight on the Abby Award-winning Vital Show. We want you guys to call in with your thoughts and feelings about it. It's serious. And a lot of people have a lot of different things to say about it, which is so strange to me. That it's really weird that people who can't be mothers are so hell bent on making people be mothers.
Like, I don't want to hear Kay Abbott say another word about it.
Does she have children?
No.
You sure?
Girl,
I can see Kay
what
having a
in the
daughter.
I
Neo
can
are
see
you
having a-
talking about?
Right, exactly. I ain't want to say it.
She probably could get a vasectomy. If anything.
Right.
you.
With them suits and pantsuits.
Look
Like,
at you.
I don't want to hear nothing else from her.
Wow, didn't mean to do that. But I can see Kay being a grandmother.
No. She's all like this. No.
Wow.
Um,
She got a
994
vasectomy. She can't have kids.
994 8949 is the number. 994-8949 is the number. If you want to get in on this conversation, don't just save it and sit around on this. I should have called and said, I've been feeling this. No, call in and say it. We won't say who you are. I sure won't. Okay. If you write it though as a comment, everyone can see who you are. If you call in on the phone line, they won't know that it's you. So 994-8949 is the number. Every opinion is welcome. This is what it's about, having conversation to maybe educate somebody else to share an opinion and perspective that we hadn't thought about. I think that's important. Why do you look like Louis Farrakhan right now?
because I'm thinking.
What are you doing? Look at her.
Oh,
Like,
I thought you saw a picture of Carlos.
oh no.
Oh,
I'm gonna talk to you later.
No, we can talk whatever.
Look. I was just
That's our
thinking,
friend.
okay, like, so what if soon as the mother finds out she's pregnant, immediately the man gets put on child support?
as a
Yeah, so since you can't abort, we're gonna balance this out. So she says that she's not financially stable enough to have this baby. So we're gonna immediately go ahead and put the father on child support.
that's stiff. Let's go to the phone lines. We'll come back to that question. Caller, you're in with. Hello, you're in.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you? What's your question or your comment?
I'm doing fine. I got
Awesome.
a comment.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm calling comment about the abortion thing.
Yay.
Yeah, I was calling pertaining to saying about the mothers putting the fathers on child support.
Uh-huh.
But I feel like if they grown up to open their legs and do that without protection, they should be able to handle the responsibility. That's on both parts.
Ooh.
On both parties, I
You finna
feel
get
like.
jumped.
I really feel like that's on both parties. If
Okay.
she ain't want to have no baby, she needs to take precautions to make sure they have a condom on, or she take a abortion pills or something. I mean, not abortion pills, but
Birth control
she's
pills.
taking some, birth control pills. That's what I feel like, me personally.
Okay. I appreciate your perspective. Cause what?
Killing what you killing the babies for? I
Mm.
feel like once you're gonna conceive something, the Lord gave y'all a blessing to conceive that.
Amen. Okay.
That's what I feel like.
I
All right,
appreciate
that's
it.
all I had.
Thank you so much
Thanks a
for
lot.
listening. Absolutely. So different perspective, right? Like if you're grown enough to lay down and open your legs, you are grown enough to bring this baby into the
Has
world.
he ever been a baby mama?
I don't know, but we're gonna go
Right.
to the top of the hour. We'll come back and talk about it. You're listening to the Abby Award-winning Vital Show right here on B94.9 WATV. Hot topic right now on Mother's Day 2022. Whereas right now, some senators are sitting somewhere reading a bill that they have to vote on Wednesday and smoking cigars and swishing their cognac around in their mouths. We'll be right back. B94.9 WATV Vital.
Smacking they hookers too.
You know what?
baby.
I can't have. We can't
Look, hey, baby.
Hey, little baby, we can't do this. I ain't got no rubber.
Yeah, or like, no, I'm not gonna be
Oh.
involved with you. You know, if you're not on birth control, or hey, we're not gonna have sex because if we don't want to have children.
No, people said that.
Oh,
Men have said that before.
have they
No.
said? They haven't said.
Some of my friends have said that before. I know that.
I mean, and I might be just take.
I ain't got no rubber, baby. Just let me put the head in.
the ridiculousness that we
Slow
may
down.
hear and experience, right? Right. So these are stupid things that we hear and that we've experienced as adults. There are teenagers listening as well. And I don't want you all out here being reckless because
the Thundercats.
I want them to stop, Jeter. That's the point of the show, to encourage people to be responsible, resourceful, and successful citizens.
And to be vital.
Please, every day that you live. And in order to be vital, we have to have conversations that are uneasy. All right. They should be. It's Mother's Day. So it's so many people getting flowers. And so somebody been doing something over the years.
You know, like
But-
I'm a gruff dog. Like, you know, take a bite out of crime. Like,
Oh my goodness. What are you talking
tighten
about?
that condom up.
Or
I'm a
something.
gruff dog.
But if that's
Cat,
not,
so,
but
I-
if that doesn't happen, if something happens and something
breaks.
else happens, life happens and you don't really know this person. Y'all think of you now. Let's just be real right quick about how many people have had situations to where you were in a situation where there became a situation that you had to deal with, because I don't know your last name, I don't know your parents, I don't know where you work, I don't know. This just happened.
Well, that was my situation. He my husband now, though.
Oh, we should clap for you. Wow.
I mean, that's really what it was. I mean, like we was kicking it. You know how you kick it, but that's what you're doing. That's how we just kicking it.
You're trying to run our ratings through the roof.
and
aren't
then
you?
boom, you got a baby.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, it happened.
Hey,
What?
Some of this, nah. Yeah.
You're probably
Hey,
saying what I'm thinking.
no, I'm not.
You might
Some
be.
of this also is like there are some cats that are like strapped up, but like it's a lot of cats that think they need magnums and they don't. And so
It don't fit.
Oh,
It's too
Oh,
big.
but let's stay whole.
Was
That's
I-
a real
was I
life.
thinking
It's-
that? I wasn't.
I don't
thinking.
think you. I said I don't think you were. I'm just telling
Yeah.
you, it is what it is. I know 4 people like that. That's what happened.
They just rolled
And
the
they shit-
wrong
they-
side.
Wait a minute, but the other part of it is that
They told you
somebody.
that.
Right.
They got a baby on the way, dog. I mean, like, that's the way to go.
Okay, but in all honesty, like y'all so stupid.
Chuck, you can't. You need your headphones. Cause, hey man, I'm gonna just tell you.
Man,
what
that
happened,
laugh was
'cause
hilarious.
I gotta tell you, cause I thought I could use that one, but that was too big. So now she's pregnant. Like, well, how does that conversation even go?
Only it's only like 13% of the population that requires magnums, but like
13.
it's about
Every day,
80% of us that think we do. Come on,
Everybody
man.
out the
No, hey,
bounds.
to thine own self be true.
Okay. All right. So continue with the conversation. More comments are coming up about the discussion. So to go back to what we're talking about right now, on Wednesday, Senate is looking to vote on
My uterus.
okay. Oh, that's the name. Is that the bill?
yeah.
No.
Hashtag my uterus. But the overturning of Roe versus Wade, 1973 court case where abortions typically, okay, so even with them being legal, when you see the protest at Planned Parenthood every day, people have dedicated their lives to going to
still do
Planned-
that?
You need to be at work.
Yes.
Why aren't you at work while you out here trying to stop these ladies from
This is my
doing what
job.
they want to do?
This is what God has called me to do. For some of them and for others, I am lobbying, or I am.
Who paying you to do this?
You need to go ask them.
God did.
I'm gonna ask.
It's
So
their
look.
way into heaven.
Let's talk about these comments here. No sex. It's the only fail-proof way to not get pregnant.
That's
Absolutely.
it.
And Ms. Blake, let me tell you something. There's a survey that is given somewhere that we both go, and they ask that in order to give certain prescriptions.
Mm-hmm.
And they are so serious
They
about
ask what?
that, about your form of birth control. It's for a particular medication that's given that has nothing to do with pregnancy at all.
But
And
if you do get pregnant while on the medication, your child will be deformed.
there's
Yes.
no question
Yeah.
about
It's
it.
a
Okay.
fact.
Okay.
So in order for them to stress that, you have to do your blood work, you have to do a pregnancy test, you have to answer questions on a computer.
And if you don't pick up that medication within a certain amount of time, you have to
You gotta
start
do it
all
all
the
over.
way over again.
Oh, okay.
Things like that. Okay, well, okay. Check us how you thinking as well.
She's right. I was just thinking about the name of the medication because there are a bunch of lawsuits.
Accutane.
Mhm.
No, there's something else too.
Another one?
Uh huh.
And another one.
Because it's starting in. I know some lawyers out in Tennessee that are starting to do like mass torts lawsuits about it. So it's crazy.
Mm. So thinking about that part of it, like medically, the response. Okay, so yeah, I want somebody else to call in and go where I'm about to go, because you think about life and how life happens in a moment, like literally can happen in a moment. There have who has never been reckless in life or irresponsible ever? Like I've never been reckless. I've never been irresponsible. I never. And we're gonna just use made a mistake. We're gonna use that. Never made a mistake before. Anybody? All right, nobody. I wish I could pull the crickets up fast enough. Nobody. So in these situations,
Mistakes be fun.
Not all of them.
Some
Some of them be
of 'em.
lifelong. Though.
Some of them do be
Lifelong.
lifelong,
Exactly.
but some of them was fun though.
lifelong mistakes, lifelong consequences. So to this point here, if you duck, oh, he's writing, he's editing his own stuff. If you duck and then you get pregnant, both people made a choice to take that risk, right? It was a fun risk to take. That's what I'm going to insert there. She made a choice to share her body. So he's putting it back on her to make that choice. How is it that after that, he doesn't matter? So AV, I'm feeling like you want us to equally give him some responsibility in this,
Right.
and not just a voice, because I think he does matter. He absolutely matters, but the bigger picture, like the overall overarching theme of this whole situation is that her body is the one that's going to produce the baby and go through whatever the process is after that. It's after that where the man or the male really comes into play. Like during that, what else do you have to do? What else happens to you?
And even after that, the mother is still the one having to make arrangements, find daycare, find someone to keep.
But before all of that, she may not be. He may do that too. But in the interim, while the child is being formed and developing, what is he to do but wait and maybe help her, reach
he
down?
outside.
I mean, it started because he was inside.
Right. And now he back
Well.
outside while you inside incubating this little baby.
I do agree with AV about this. I think. I don't know.
To a certain degree, I do as well.
I
don't
agree
know
with him to a certain
about
extent.
that part, and also about I gotta figure this part out, because maybe it should be staggered or something. But like if we doing what we doing,
Mhm.
you get pregnant. It's like, oh, and you say, I want to have this kid, and I'm like, no. Or not take me out of the equation. A man says no, she says yes.
Mhm.
If he says no, that child support thing, that gets a little dicey sometimes. I get
Okay.
it, and I've always thought this. Maybe it should be like a staggered formula, because for people who are single parents, child support is formulaic. Like it's a certain.
It's an equation.
You make this amount of money, you report this amount of money to the government, they gonna take this amount of money, period. But if y'all, I feel like something else, there should be something else in there too. I think. Maybe. I think that. I don't know.
So
It's just
okay,
weird,
but
right?
the proof of that, like to be able to say, well, yeah, we had a conversation and I told her I didn't want this or that, or whatever the case may be. How do you prove that in the
I don't
court of
know.
law?
I mean, there's verbal contracts.
It doesn't matter though, does it? And it doesn't matter because as two grown individuals, you both made the decision to have
Involve yourself sexually.
yeah.
Right.
So what comes from that is based on the decision that you made prior.
You don't think there's some children that have been brought in this world because everybody was out of their mind on something?
Yes, I do believe that.
So
Absolutely.
so it's not always a conscious decision. I mean, it depends on the slippery slope. It was a conscious decision in order for you to like be that faded or be that whatever. So y'all don't even remember doing the do, right? But I don't know. What?
If I don't remember, don't even talk about it. Don't bring it up again.
If I don't care how, I should remember something. But I mean, I get what you're saying, so I do understand that part. But at the end of the day, unless like y'all both have a mental disorder that is going to prevent you from caring for the kid,
Mhm.
it is what it is. On the other side of the what had happened was.
Hello.
My mama just walked into you.
Hey, Mom.
Okay. Hello. Oh, I met you before. Yeah. In Fairfield.
Did you get checked in Fairfield?
Yeah. At the awards.
Oh, back in the day.
Yeah, like 5 years ago. The
Look at
millennial
you.
thing.
Yeah, I
My
remember.
memory tight.
I see.
I do. I remember good people.
Oh, look at this on the air right now during a live
Happy
radio
Mother's
show.
Day. Happy Mother's Day. Well, I have my moments. It's just happens to be one of them.
Definitely has its moments. So pleasant surprise in studio on Mother's Day. My mother did stop in. Let me see if I can pan around so y'all can see what's going on in studio. For those of you who are listening, just hold tight.
Say hey, Mom.
She's so sweet, y'all.
She is. Hello, Mother.
Thank you much.
Thanks, Mom.
We love you too.
We love you.
Thank you.
So I don't. For those of you listening, I don't know if you can hear any of what's happening, but she's really showering us with praises for how great
She always does.
we are.
Yeah.
So AV asked the question: when do mistakes turn into irresponsibility? When do mistakes turn into irresponsibility? And that's basically what I was just saying. That, like a mistake. Mistakes turn into irresponsibility with maturity, with time. So like, yeah, I was having fun in college. That fun that I knew, or that fun that I thought I was having in college as an adult, I got older and I realized that these are the things that could totally end my life tomorrow if I do this.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like, when I was a child, I thought like a child, and when I became a grown woman, I behaved as a grown woman, and my thoughts were different.
And I mean, it just, in just being transparent, I don't think that when I had my first 2 kids, nothing about anything that I was doing was responsible, right? Not to say that my kids are mistakes, but I just wasn't being responsible when I had them.
Right.
Mhm.
Having them made me or forced me
It knocked you in
to
the
grow
gear.
up and
Right.
and find some responsibility, because now you got 2 people depending on you. It is what it is. Yeah, you're irresponsible. Yeah, you made a mistake, had this baby, and grow up. And I think that that's a large part of what the population is missing. You want to have fun, but nobody wants to grow up.
Mm. Yeah. You will be forced to grow up. Life will make you grow up. And I think we've been talking about that with every conversation that we've had over the past couple of weeks, talking about money. Like, okay, the mistakes I made me have to grow up. I had to get
Right.
3 jobs in order to get my credit,
Trio.
whatever.
Right.
We talked about even your mental health. You can play around with it until you have to grow up and own where you are. You know what? I've been depressed for 11 years. It's about time I do something about this. I've been having anxiety. I've been bit my nails down to the rim. I got to do something about this, right? So maturity makes you realize where you are in life, and you have to act on it. And if you don't realize it, somebody else may tell you after so long, look, I've been watching you go through this for too long.
You mentally ill. Sis. I want you to get some medicine.
That sounds like something I would say.
It is.
Hey, I got some medicine for you, cuz this is out of control.
Give me some pills.
994-8949 is the number. 994-8949 is the number. If you want to call in and share your opinion, I'm getting some text messages too. I want y'all to get on the radio with it. Like, say it out loud. Say it with your chest. If this is how you feel, say it. Like, share your opinion. I will not say who you are. Nobody will know. And this is something that I get during the week. I was listening to the show Sunday. Why didn't you say something? And I was just thinking, like, when Candy said blah blah blah, I was like, oh my god. So who were you telling this to? Because you didn't call in and tell us, so she doesn't know what you were thinking. Call in.
It's my face.
Yeah, 994-8949. If you've experienced something where this has been a situation for you, and I'm almost encouraged to share something with you guys that happened to me, but I'm gonna wait unless you get the book. You're gonna have to buy the book for that story, but it's a story very similar to not having control over your body in a moment. Like, in a matter of moments, your body's going to do what it's going to do, and you may not be able to control any of it. And what's so crazy about it is that it's referred to as a spontaneous abortion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But when you
Get the
book,
get the book.
And that's something else me and one of the doctors were talking about. She was like, miscarriages are scientifically called abortions. And it's like, well, that's not all like that. Because you can't control having a miscarriage.
Google abortion.
Yes, ma'am.
What does Merriam and Webster them call it? What is it defined as? So we think about, when you start talking about these things in depth, like looking at the very layers of it, you are able to get more of what maybe like other people's opinions and perspective. Why do you feel this way? Well, because this is what happened to me, and this is how it looks.
The deliberate termination of a human pregnancy, most often performed during the first 28 weeks of pregnancy.
Simply put, right?
Yeah.
Cut and dry. It doesn't say how. It doesn't say depending on the circumstances. It doesn't say any of that. It simply says what again?
The deliberate termination of a human pregnancy. Also, Merriam-Webster says the termination of a pregnancy after and accompanied by, resulting in, or closely followed by death of embryo or fetus. So stop saying people killing babies out here.
Oh.
Like,
Okay.
it ain't.
So-
You act like it's a baby with 10 fingers and 10 toes, is blinking and can say "mama." It's a
fetus ain't a child.
So
It's
it's
not.
it's the process. Okay, so scientifically, there's some scientists out that's listening to the show that says, I just thought about this. Scientists, wait. You can wait and call in. Okay, so a miscarriage versus an abortion. If your body has a miscarriage and you are planning for this baby to come into the world, you're happy about it, right? You're excited. My baby. It's your baby instantly then.
Right.
But when it's another situation and you're like, man, I don't know what to do with this, man. You don't refer to the fetus, right? Or the embryo as your baby.
you don't.
What do you say?
It
Well, did we have somebody on the show, or maybe I was reading a Facebook post where a girl, she had a miscarriage and she wanted to get the baby's remains so that she could have a burial. The hospital wouldn't give them to her because
Of a miscarriage. Okay.
because it was too early on for them to qualify the baby as a fetus. So they kind of
qualify the fetus as a baby. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So they kind of, I don't know, they discarded of it or what they
They
did.
do probably, yeah.
Probably.
But and I think she was in Alabama.
You see how the terminology changes and how the feelings change when it is something that you want to do versus something that you don't want to do. It's a different situation.
Transparent moment real quick. I miscarried a couple years ago. I went to the doctor. They couldn't find a heartbeat. So either they gave me the choice to do a DNC, which is when they go in the hospital and they basically perform an abortion and just make sure everything comes out, or to give me the pill and then I let it happen at home. I made the choice to take the pill, let it happen at home. If this is passed, you won't get anything. Your body just gonna have to just pass it on its own whenever it decides to do so. So which means that I could die.
If you have a miscarriage.
If you have a miscarriage, they won't be able to perform DNCs or give you the abortion pill.
Oh.
But that's
You could die.
Is that written?
You could die. Me and one of the other doctors were discussing this. We were in deep discussion about this. She was like, that will be banned.
Really?
Yes.
Because a miscarriage is not the deliberate abortion of a fetus. I mean, it's just not. That's not deliberate. It's
But
natural.
a miscarriage.
Work with the terms.
The miscarriage. Hold on. And she actually sent me a screenshot.
Okay.
Why are you looking that up? I was supposed to be 10 years older because my mama had a miscarriage. So,
You're supposed to be what?
9 or 10 years older than
All right. Miscarriage.
So they waited probably out of fear.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get it.
Because you don't want to go through that emotional process again, right? Like you got to get to a point where you can emotionally deal with perhaps, because it wasn't like any sort of like, again, sometimes miscarriages just happen. It's not like your body is too weak or something. It just wasn't your
It's
time.
just something that happens.
Right.
Or you suffer from certain health issues
At
or
that
whatever.
moment, right.
All right, miscarriage. There's about 1 in 4 pregnancies end in miscarriage, and women's bodies don't always pass fetal tissue completely on their own. At that point, most American women are offered a pill or surgical procedure, essentially an abortion. In places where abortion is heavily restricted or not performed, those options may not be available for weeks, if at all, resulting in serious health risk and trauma.
That doesn't make sense. Hold on. The reason that doesn't make sense, I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me because if you have miscarried, then the child, the fetus is no longer viable, no longer alive. So that's not technically an abortion. Right?
So do what's necessary to make sure that I can go forward in a healthy manner.
So if they ban abortions or whatever,
A DNC is technically a abortion.
But if the child is already
not a child, if the
fetus or whatever is not viable,
right?
And that is just a biological thing. I don't know how whatever the Supreme Court decides to do and individual states do, if they ban abortions, I don't know that that's going to be considered an abortion. It might be. I don't know. I ain't a doctor.
There's been instances where women have been like 6 or 7 months that didn't know they were pregnant.
I've heard.
And then all of a sudden they find out they're pregnant and the baby is not thriving the way it should.
Or you have an ectopic
Right.
pregnancy.
Either ectopic
So-
or stillborn baby.
Different
Mhm.
people will say, different doctors in different states will say, no, we can't do this because that's considered an abortion.
you have to pass
So you
it.
had to walk around with this dead child inside of you because it's considered abortion.
Wow. So look, just as a point of clarity and empathy, triggering, like some conversations may be triggering for some who listen, and I am very much aware and sympathetic, empathetic to that. This is a conversation that has to be had if it is, or this is a trigger warning for you. I would say that this may be a trigger warning if you've experienced some type of prenatal or maternal trauma that you have yet to process or still are processing and living through. We hope that you find some resolve and some support and some healing for your situation. For those of you who are listening and you are able to have this conversation in a way and be a part of this conversation in a way that the government is presenting it. We appreciate your comments and your follow-up. Like, call in. And AV, yes, you are absolutely right. The bill or whatever it was that was leaked, it was leaked. And it was not supposed to come out yet. Also was leaked was the information of those who put it forward to be
Alito.
yeah,
Is
like
this
we're
public?
gonna put it out.
Is this comment right here public? That one right there? Hey man, AV, one more time, man.
Which one is that? The states?
Yeah, AV, come on, boss. One more time. You live in the Bible Belt. I don't care what. Yes, there's an automatic assumption that if they overturn this, I will tell you the states. Every state in the Bible Belt: Tennessee, Alabama, Arkansas, Georgia, Mississippi. Mississippi's a little iffy actually these days, but they're going to ban it. Period. And you know that.
It's-
Hopefully not in the case of rape and incest,
Mm.
but they gonna ban it. So come on, man. You live in Alabama. You know what's gonna happen.
I'm gonna try to call Kay tomorrow and see if she would come on and chat.
Call down.
It's no step too high for high
Hell
steps.
no.
What does it even mean?
I don't know, but I like it. All right, so we're coming back in just a moment. We are celebrating Mother's Day by talking about everything that affects mothers and fathers because parents raise children. But this is Mother's Day, so that's why we're taking the mother's approach to the conversation.
Right.
Father's Day, if you're interested in coming in, you don't have to be a biological father. You could be someone who has been a father to many.
And we're
let
gonna
us
talk
know.
about vasectomies.
Oh, all right. We'll be right back. You're listening to Vital on B94.9 WATV on a Sunday night where the V stands for Vital.
TV is turning up your lunch break with the all-new free lunch flashback with Lady Wu.
Know what I mean?
Turn us up Monday through Thursday from 12 noon to 1 p.m.
Hey,
for the
that's
best
why I
of
went
old
directly
school
at him. Like, come on, man.
and Southern
Check your
soul.
business.
Commercial free.
Check your
Straight
business.
from the old school. It's the free lunch flashback.
I mean,
with
you know
Lady
him, right?
Wu. As we go back in time. Heard exclusively on the all-new B94.9.
Sorry about that. Thank you, Antonio. Had all of the listeners to put an end to the story. Like, how do you see the story ending? So, about 4 years, well, it was 2015. He was apprehended by, was it 19? One of them.
I think it's all 15.
19.
Was
His crime spree started in 15.
Okay, yeah.
And they were preparing to apprehend him in 19. And when they got him at the standoff, he had the guns and he was ready to kill himself, or he wanted them to kill him. So we do know that Casey White he does suffer with mental illness, and that when he's off of his medication, that he does self-medicate with meth.
Mm-hmm.
We also know that he is he's very violent when he's not in a controlled, structured setting. He's free right now. He also threatened an ex of his and said that if he ever got out, he was coming to get her.
But they also said that Vicky had been talking to him since he was in Donaldson Correctional Facility.
Do you know who they sent to Donaldson though?
But he only confessed to this last murder to get out of Donaldson to get transferred.
Oh, baby.
Why do you know who they sent?
See, there you go.
You in her business.
You said it.
You need to man your business.
You said it out loud in public on a microphone. Just like you said these
on
comments.
the airway.
Right. You said these Facebook comments public.
Like right now, you
just
can
know
like,
Jesus saved me and a lot of y'all. Okay.
Like right now,
Okay.
you can simply say like, "Hey, if you're listening, write me a letter," because we do have a lot of people who are listening that are incarcerated.
Who writing us a
different
letter
reasons.
from Donaldson?
Yeah,
No,
different
baby,
places.
don't write me.
I'm just telling you,
No, ma'am. Don't
this
want
happens. Okay,
it. Sending it back.
I'm just telling you. So, with everything that's happening with this particular case, what do you all see as an ending to this story, or how long could it go?
Somebody's gonna be dead.
I believe that somebody's
Yep.
gonna die. I don't know if it's him or her or both
Or
of
both.
them.
They're gonna find a body somewhere.
I believe they're gonna take somebody with them
Yep.
if it comes to that. So if they are caught, a law enforcement officer will leave here. Unfortunately, that's just how I feel about it.
Somebody said Queen and Slim ending. That movie really.
I don't like that.
Ooh,
Was
that
movie
really.
good?
It was.
Yes, it was
great.
so good.
It was
Yeah, I
really
need to watch
good.
that.
See it.
I feel like we're gonna end up finding her, and it's gonna be years before they find him because she had cash on hand. He can overtake her at any moment.
Yeah.
I'm talking about knock her head clean off.
Yeah. And he could take the money and keep on going wherever he going or doing whatever he doing.
I don't think he's smart enough for that though. Like
What
how
he
he
just-
gonna function.
How he just kill her? Like, what if he just kill her?
But
Well-
they also said that she had an assault rifle with her as well. They were armed.
But she loved this man who he may have that gun now.
Oh,
right.
All this,
right.
so I don't know. I just feel like he gonna probably kill her in the end. Because I mean, these people done got so much evidence. You can't try to fake it like he took you without your will. So I believe he gonna kill you. 'Cause-
Well, it's not even that though. Something's gonna happen because he's gonna have an episode if he's not on his medication.
He most definitely
And
is.
that's one of the worst things about mental illness, right? Like I see it a lot where people they're on their medication and then they start to cycle off because they think that everything is cool. I no longer need this medication, or it makes me groggy or sleepy or whatever. So once they cycle off, then they are no longer in control. So there's going to be an episode.
And not only that, but I'm revoking my access to it because nobody can. I don't
Right.
want to be discovered, so I'm not going to call my psychiatrist and say, "Hey, I need a refill of my stuff."
Right.
No.
He can't just pop in the Rite Aid. Be like, yo, let me get
No.
those pills.
But knowing Vicky, she thinks she can
I'm sorry.
check out the hotel and be on the camera, and they can drop the car. I don't know. I don't know if comfort becomes a thing in all of this. Like we get comfortable being free. Like we know they're looking for us, but they haven't found us yet. So
Okay, so as your listeners, our listeners probably know, I'm nosy. So I joined the Casey and Vicky White Facebook group. And in
Sorry.
there,
Wait a minute.
what?
Oh my
I be having to know what's going
God. Oh my
on.
God.
So it's like a group of people that are from their town that knows them personally, and just a bunch of thousands of other people that like putting out in like all the breaking news that happens with them. So in this group, somebody did bring up a good point. Like, okay, she's been talking to him or having this special relationship with him for so long, and taking special care of him, making sure he gets extra food. She knows what medicines that he needs in order to continue to function. So who's to say that she hasn't taken some of that money to make sure that he has that medicine on the outside to last him for 6 or 7 months?
Okay, then in 6 or 7 months, there's gonna be an episode, and they're gonna get caught because there's still a record of that, right? Like prescription medication is prescription medication. Like
so somebody can say, "I gave them 3 months worth. They got
Right.
90 pills."
so there's a record of that. I mean, unless they about to rob like Western, what's the Western Western Health Clinic, whatever. Unless it's like a rob a clinic.
Western here?
No,
What?
it's a
Western
mental.
Health Clinic here?
Like they gonna go to Midfield and
Right, like-
There's a mental health clinic that people get sent to.
Yeah, it used
Where
to be
you get your
Western. Yeah, it used to be Western.
Where you
Might still be
get they
Western.
have a repository of medication, shots,
Yeah.
pills for people who are schizophrenic, blah 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 blah.
But
Manic.
he still needs her though, because who's not gonna recognize him?
That's all.
he
I'm
stands
saying.
out.
They are in Arkansas in the mountains.
But so mountain people
and they
are
look
just
like
tall
everybody
anyway.
else. They look like everybody else.
Or go, you know, like.
Or they in a trailer park where a whole lot of people got Confederate tattoos on their back. I mean,
And they're gonna
and they
protect
probably
them.
hiding them.
This
Now
is
that-
just so
now that-
disturbing.
That would be really wow. We're gonna protect y'all, but Queen and
Yeah.
Slim. So we don't want to tell the movie, but they were
Queen and
protected.
Slim was good people.
They were good people, and a bad situation happened to them. But the way that it ended, y'all,
I can't stand that.
yeah, it's really just heart wrenching. Oh wow. So yeah, if he said then, y'all gonna have to kill me if you don't bring this sheriff that I know to come and apprehend me. That's what he asked for, and that's what he got. That's why he made it back to prison. But you gotta know if you escape. I'm not sure. We walk around with some murderers and some escapees every day, and
'Cause
some
we hang out in some places. You don't never know who you hanging out with.
yeah, you know, sitting across from
I don't know. We should
the counselor. That's the
or Donaldson. I don't
you
know
know
what you're talking
right.
about. You got a number? My bad. My bad.
So-
I want somebody from Mount Mead to St. Clair County or Elmore. But I mean,
Just
what
saying.
if their mindset is they don't care? Like whatever happens, happen. We established this. We know the consequences and what could happen. We don't care as long as we together. We can die together. I mean,
Blaze
that's
of glory.
Ooh, baby, I ain't never had love like that.
Me neither.
I don't want it either.
some people do crazy stuff for love.
Mm.
I'm willing to die for you.
Look,
I'm willing,
oh, go.
If I'm willing to break you out of prison and risk my freedom,
My
it's some other
freedom
stuff.
and my retirement.
It's, hey,
I
what
thought
else?
you-
I ain't got nothing else to lose.
I
so
thought
why
you about
not?
to go into a freestyle over hours.
Oh, my bad.
That's what it sounded like.
that's what I-
didn't it?
I can
She
run
better
with
start
you for
reading.
hours.
I didn't know what was about to happen. Okay. So what we're feeling is that basically this situation can go, and then one day we'll be just doing whatever we normally do, and it'll be breaking news that Casey and Vicky White have been found. How long do y'all think it'll take?
I think
don't
we probably
know.
gonna forget about it and it's gonna just
Yeah.
pop up.
It could take years. Like, and then it's gonna come up on CNN. I'm so sick of making CNN for stupid stuff.
You probably it'll be
TMZ gonna break it first.
Right, it'll be
Yeah,
TMZ.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So years. Y'all think years?
Because they've been gone a week. If they was gonna catch them, they would have caught them in a
No,
week.
I'm telling you that medication, the mental health part of this is
That's a big
the X
piece.
factor. I
That
think
is
that's
a
the
big
X
piece.
factor. Yeah, he gonna pop off. Somebody not gonna put ice in his drink. And he gonna go nuts, and
He
that's
gonna
what.
lose.
Yeah,
But what that looks like for somebody that's on the run is different from what it looks like for somebody that
But
everybody
when
sees
you on your
every day at the coffee
medication,
shop.
do you realize that you're on the run? You might lose sight of that.
Yeah.
You might lose clear sight of that.
I don't think these are
Mm-mm.
bright people.
I don't think so either.
They
back
talked
to
about
that.
how sweet and quiet Vicky was.
Vicky
though.
was plotting.
They lying.
Plotting to steal.
One lady said that Vicky came to her daughter's baby shower, and
Oh,
she
you
was-
talking about the Facebook group you in?
yeah,
Okay.
and she
Yeah,
said,
tell us about
okay,
that.
so look, the lady said that she came to her daughter's baby shower, and Vicky brought a gift, and she stood in the corner
Baby, get that guilt back.
and didn't say nothing to
She stood
nobody.
in the
She
corner
stood in
and
the
didn't
corner
say
by
anything.
herself.
Y'all
Didn't
should
speak
have
to
sent that
anybody.
guilt right on back home.
She
with her.
said Vicky was there and gone before she knew it. Vicky would just walk up and just listen to conversations and wouldn't say nothing. She would go off and keep busy. They said she would do busy work. She didn't really reveal a whole lot of her personal life. Nobody even knows if she has family, a husband, sisters, mama,
Who got a
daddy,
husband? That
dead,
man.
or
What's
none
his
of that.
name?
It's the quiet
Casey.
ones. You gotta watch
That's
the quiet
the
ones.
And that's what they
Vicky.
said. You some quiet ones you gotta watch.
How many Facebook groups?
A lot on. It's ridiculous.
I have to
That's
keep
her.
up.
She got a number.
Well, this is just our spin on some news that is, all over the world, putting Alabama on the map once again.
For something stupid.
Just
Stupid.
really different, but it's going to be a great movie. And
It is.
I'll
It's
be-
gonna be a Netflix.
I'm going to put something to the soundtrack.
Speaking of Netflix,
Yes.
oh, a movie I've been waiting for like weeks is coming out on the 11th. Our
Okay.
Father. Have y'all heard of that?
Oh my gosh. Yes.
I'm so ready for
Is it
that.
a movie
Look
or
at
is it a
that.
series?
It's I think it's a movie. No, it might be a documentary.
think
Either
it's a-
way, I'm watching
Yeah, I think it's like a
it.
docu
Okay,
series.
so what is it about?
Our-
Why are y'all so excited about it?
Our Father is about this doctor who had a
Oh,
sperm
yeah,
bank
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
who just basically put all his sperm in all these different women in the same town and like what 50 something
Yeah,
kids.
he got a lot of cheers.
And I bet
That has happened more often than you.
Yes.
There have been stories about that for a long time.
It's a documentary.
speaking about the abortion stuff passing, woo, but they don't find out until later. There's another movie or a show where one of the daughters went and found her sisters, and they were all different. They all had these different moms with different personalities, but the same dad.
Yep.
I can't remember what that was. I watched that during the height of the pandemic.
Like this so weird because like all these kids all look alike once they met each other. All of them had blonde eyes, blonde
That's
hair,
different.
blue eyes, all in the same town. So therefore they could have been dating and sleeping with their siblings and didn't even know it.
Well, you could do that right here in Birmingham.
Hold on, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. So Our Father's coming out.
Talking about like Kevin Gates. Keep going.
What happened with Kevin Gates?
Kevin Gates was
Oh, he sure was.
his cousin.
He
And
was
then-
what?
You didn't
He
know
was
this?
with his cousin. Then they found out, and he was
And
like,
he was like, I ain't gonna stop dead cool.
Hey man, they told me that one day when I was at my job, and I lost it.
like Kevin, what?
I mean, the man got a cross on his hip forehead. So no offense to the people with face tattoos.
I like Kevin Gates too, though. But yeah, that was different.
He's a weird one.
What else? What else has happened or is happening this week? I'm wanting to think about. Oh,
Black Star dropped an album.
Black Star dropped an album.
But you
Let me
gotta
see if I have
sign
one.
up for something that's weird. But
They trying to what Kanye did too, so they don't want anybody to get it.
you got to do this. You only have access to it as of right now if you sign up for something called Luminary. Is that what it is? Their
Mm-mm.
podcast, whatever.
I kind of get that though. So if we have a product, well, okay. First of all, you have to be because Kanye couldn't do it either. Because I did not get Donda 2. I didn't want to get the little capsule.
Oh, remember
didn't
why
either.
Jay-Z started Tidal? And
Because-
a whole bunch of people jumped on Tidal, but that was Jay, and he had a catalog.
And other people, he put other artists on it as well.
On it, yeah.
But I mean, I'm gonna pay the little $2.99 for 1 month, and I'm gonna cancel it.
Alright.
I gotta hear it.
Yeah, I could do that.
Black Star.
I could do that.
Right.
Okay. Anything else big happening or has happened in the week? So we weren't live last Sunday. Mm,
Oh, something that was really big on social media.
nice.
The girl that was
One of your
posing
Facebook
with the
group?
guns.
What's this?
Hmm.
Oh, is this a person in purple?
Yeah.
So
I
again,
can't
hey guys,
stand
it's
that
crazy
dress.
because I don't have access to my Facebook page. Like, I'll be at work and they start talking about stuff, and then they'll just show it to me while I'm at work, and I'd lose my mind. Did she lose a scholarship or something?
They said
said
that
it
that
was
story was
true.
all made up.
That she did
Somebody,
lose?
They said
yeah.
it wasn't true.
Oh,
So another created narrative. If you all did not catch this, it started a lot of arguments and a lot of conversations in many groups around many water coolers. The young lady and young man posted their pictures for the prom send-off, and they were holding assault rifles, and they were in the middle of the street.
It was
He-
like 4 guns.
yeah, he was standing on her dress, which is a new trend for the trains on the prom dresses. Some people talked about that, others talked about the guns. So these are 2 young Black children who were going to the prom. Some people said that, hey, if this before we knew that the narrative wasn't true, people said that, hey, they're being attacked because they're Black. He has wicks and she's Black, and they're holding guns, and that's why they're being attacked. That's why she was expelled from school, which was the first story. She was expelled from school and she lost her scholarship, and she makes all A's. That was the story.
Mhm.
That was different. Yeah, I was like, okay, maybe. So then some groups, what were the different arguments that you all heard about this particular story?
Well, I honestly was disgusted by the whole photo. I was, because it's not how I would like for our people to always be displayed
Okay.
and looked at. I don't care. Like the argument was, well, white people do it. I'm just like, okay, well, who said so? 1 minute you're saying white people don't set the standard, then you compare, well, white people do it, so it's okay for us to do it. No, no, it's not. Then I couldn't get over her undergarments. You could see that all through her dress. It was just all wrong. And I just don't like for us to be looked at in that light.
but hold on.
Okay.
And then the caption on the photo said that she had the guns for these girls that tried to jump her. It was ghetto.
I will say this though, white folks got ramifications for doing the same thing too, because there have been times in which white folks have been wilding out on social media, and they lose scholarships and they lose jobs and they lose. So that I think that kind of stuff, that kind of foolishness across the board
For me, it's the fact that everything has to always go back. Like we've
gotta
said
be
this for
black or
years,
white.
right? We've said this
Yeah.
for years. Everything is a colored conversation. It's either black
Mhm.
or it's white, and we can't see past that. I get so sick of having to have conversations that are, well, were they black? Were they white? Look, yeah, that's obvious in most situations that you want to know who it was. Oh, I can't believe they was black. Okay, if we start functioning in a space that is rational and reasonable, you won't have to ask those questions because they do black people like that all the time. I want us to start thinking before we act. So, like, the prom is a formal event. That's the first thing that comes to
Right.
mind for me. It's a
Listen.
formal event.
Here's the deal: the internet remains undefeated. People take screenshots, but it don't matter if you delete. Think about what happens as soon as you hit send. Think about every possible ramification that could possibly happen once you press send.
I meant to do this. I posed.
But I don't know. I try to look at everything from every view.
Really?
Like I was 17, 18 years old before. I do crazy, stupid stuff. I'm almost 40 and I did something stupid last week. But when you excited, you're 17 years old, I don't know how people are brought up with guns or not. They may not see it as this is a bad thing.
Your grandfather
I'm
wouldn't
gonna
have
tell
said, no, if you did that, he would have said,
I mean, like if it was my son, like I don't have guns, but his
Okay.
dad has lots of guns. I can see his dad, like, but what I say, you can take a picture, but don't post it on Facebook. Don't post it on social media.
That's my point.
We don't know if this girl's parents told her that or not. We don't know. My mama said don't do this, but I'm gonna do it anyway. But why does she have to be viewed like that? Like,
Because that's the word
what
that
the
we live
picture-
in.
right.
So we live in a social media filled society. So the thing is that most children don't understand is when you put it out, your stamp is on it. It's up there. Ain't that what the young
It's
people
up
say?
and it's
Right, it's
stored.
So when it's up and it's stuck, you have to be grown enough as you were when you posted this content to deal with the ramifications that come behind it. Whether it's good or it's bad, it's a choice that you chose to make. So it is what it is.
What if something happened to her that following week and this photo would have been put on the news?
That's it.
100%.
I mean, I'm not saying what she did was right or wrong. I think my big problem was the backlash of, oh, she ghetto, oh, she's stupid, oh, good, she lost her scholarship. When it was the rumor that came out, like, oh, good, that's what she get. Like, y'all glad the girl lost her scholarship and got expelled from school because of a picture that wasn't even on school property, wasn't on the premises of what a prom was. That was my biggest
It
problem.
was in a
like,
formal dress when you're headed to the prom with the caption of "You bought these for some girls that tried to jump you." Like it's just the wrong message.
And I think that's kind of what's wrong with the children of the culture. They don't suffer any consequences for the decisions that they choose to make. And because of that, once they do reach an age where they are held accountable for the decisions that they make, they in shock because
Like,
you what did I
I'm
do?
in trouble for this.
When they've never been held responsible for the decisions and the choices that they made. It's just like, hey, y'all got to do better.
Because just last week, it was a 17-year-old that was killed, found on Liberty Parkway. Every day, it's a teenage child
And
killed.
You are also possibly bringing violence upon yourself too, right? Because
Right.
like, if you posting this and saying I got this from some girls, blah blah blah, what happens if they run up on you?
Right.
Or
'Cause
if
they
it,
can
not
say,
even
"I
run
felt
up on you, but if
threatened."
you have posted this
Right.
picture and I'm anticipating you coming for me, I'm gonna get you first.
That's what I'm saying.
So
That's
let's
my
look
point.
at something before all of that. Let's look at the thought process that even allows that to make any sense in the first place. If I'm going to include anything in a prom picture, so I'm just thinking about when I went to prom, it was me and my date, and that was it. We didn't need any other props. We looked at how we looked. That's what the purpose of the pictures was. That was the send off for your family to see you off, and this is a momentous occasion. Things have turned into they're different now. Things are different now. But as far as like what you decide what you pose with, what would be suitable?
Posing with my date.
Or with your parents or
Right.
your homegirls or your homeboys, or if you all play soccer or baseball, you may hold your equipment or
Like
something.
the girl that posed playing with her
And
drums.
so to that point, I shared a young lady that was on the drum line, and I don't know why I was emotional that day, but it made me cry a little bit. And I mean, it was just different. I love children that are able to think I'm thinking I want to do something different. I don't want to look like everybody else, that all my peers. I want to do something different.
It displayed her excellence.
Yes, I was just really pleased by that. And if you didn't see it, I shared it on my social media. I'll share it again. Comment comes in, says, and we make excuses for them hiding behind our blackness. Please stop. Exactly. And that I will say that because they're black or because she's black, that's why they attack. No, that's not why.
No,
Because my daughter is not, there are certain things you may want to do, you're not going to do. And that's just
Right.
the end of it. What explanation? Because we are great and you're not going to display my pistols online. Like for what?
Right.
For what? For what?
But do we know? Like, I'm not trying to make excuses, but like I said, I just try to like. We don't know what the girl parents input or like. They may have not been around when she took the pictures.
I know they
because
saw that picture when she was posted before it
But
got
how-
1.3K.
How many parents have told a child don't put that on and they gonna do it anyway?
Oh, okay.
I mean, like I said, I'm not saying whether it's right or wrong, but it was just some of the comments that I saw and heard because
And
of her.
I
the
understand that because
punishment
at the
that she
end of
was
the day,
getting.
she's still a child. But at the same time, when you post it on social media, you kind of open it up for the world, and the dialogue that's given behind it is,
What,
it is-
what rat is this? You're not coming to our school.
Right.
Before we go, we got about 6 minutes. 994-8949 is the number. If you have an opinion on this, if you thought that it was cool, hey, I would definitely let my children do whatever they want to do on social media for the prom. I think it was okay. It was nothing wrong with it. And
She can't babysit my child.
Oh, never. But then come back around and say that it was a false narrative. That was not the story. She didn't. Well, that the part that was posted, the caption was true,
Right.
but she didn't lose any scholarships, anything like that. It wouldn't have mattered. I don't think it mattered to me either way what was lost or anything like that. I was looking at the mere fact that made sense to do in the first place. What are we talking to our young people about? What makes sense? Like some things just don't make sense.
It doesn't.
And that's just as simple. That's just as simple as I see it. It just doesn't make sense. I'm not going back and forth with anybody about that because I said what I said. It doesn't make sense.
Like some people did say, well, again, white kids do it. And I will say that Nadia does have a couple of friends that are part of hunting clubs and they like shoot for competition and stuff. And they might pose like with their target or something at this competition or their trophy or whatever. But I have never seen them pose with a gun.
And they are actually in the gun club.
They're actually in gun clubs and like this is for sport.
Now, if I'm in the ROTC and my date goes with me,
Context.
okay,
Right.
It has to have
has
some
to
type
fit.
of okay.
Listen to this too.
What it?
Y'all out here with these guns and aiming at the camera. Teach these children how to shoot.
Oh, okay, that part.
'Cause they don't know what they're doing. Okay,
Shooting like they on what's your movie? Boys in the Hood.
Minister Society.
Yeah.
Like,
Stop. That's not even how you do it. And we do have friends who have come on the show to talk about their classes to help
Right.
you learn gun safety
Give them
and how
some
to
gun
shoot.
safety training if they're gonna be out here doing it.
Teach them how to clean the gun. Teach them how to take the gun apart. Like teach them, like you said, complete gun safety.
They're just out here
Something
shooting.
else that happened when it comes to shooting and being in the streets. Young man was on live after he committed murder and attempted
Tell the baby
murder.
going to jail.
And
He's going to Donaldson.
the day that the night that he posted the video, everybody was just like, well, based on his story, yeah, he had all right to do that. He was defending himself. This happened over in Avondale.
Yeah, I
that's
did
what
see
everybody was
that.
saying that night that it broke. Like, well, yeah, they were about to rob him. Yeah,
It,
he
it
did
looked
what he
like
had
that
to
to y'all.
do.
That's how
Oh,
y'all
I'm not talking about
perceived
the
it.
question.
No,
Uh-uh.
no.
That's
This
a whole different-
This happened.
Yeah.
This something else.
Avondale, young man was on live.
Yeah, that's
And
the
he
second
was
young man
shooting
that was
dice.
on
That's
live
what he
after
was
he
doing. It
killed
was a dice
somebody.
game, and he said that they tried to kill him.
Yeah, he hit
So
$20,000
he got
on his
them
head.
first.
Yeah, and then panned around, showed the one that was on the steps
Laying on the
that
steps.
ultimately was deceased, and then the one that was killed in the street, or the one that was shot in the street. He didn't die.
He didn't die.
But then he was already linked to other cases. But the point I'm making is we see things on social media and think that we have the full story off of the piece that we see.
Mhm.
And that night that he went live, everybody was just kind of like, well, yeah, bro, you did what you needed to do. And he was defending himself. And then you come around and get the full story. Oh, you a whole murderer out here. Like,
You got
what?
bodies on you.
Right. And so
What's wrong with these folks thinking just because they go live about after they shoot somebody that's gonna clear them?
Right.
Because there's a second guy in Birmingham that's
Yeah.
gone live
Which-
after
which is
killing
why we
somebody.
were talking about the plush situation. It doesn't change. it doesn't change anything. It doesn't clear you of anything because there's still a story that has to be told, and there are still witnesses. So both of
And
these
it's just
situations,
freaking disheartening.
It's
Like,
crazy.
you know, you get on this somebody's child, somebody's father, somebody's brother.
Mhm.
I don't care what kind of altercation y'all had. You did what you did. Don't put this. Just
Don't put this body
You
on
know-
social media. And that's what they do.
Yeah.
People don't care. I mean, you like the guy that the young man that got killed over there by the pilot. Instead of trying to help you got
got
him
out the
alive,
car
he
to
put
get
his
to
child.
report.
Like this gets attention. It gets
I see
likes and
the-
comments.
I saw the live. Y'all, they dead. It's 2 of them out here dead. They just screaming in the phone and panning the camera around, showing like the car riddled with bullets and bystanders trying to help and give CPR and stuff like that. Like, social media is gonna be the death of a lot of people.
Social media takes away a lot of respect. Just like with Kevin Samuels, him passing. His mom said she found out on social media
I did see
before
that.
even the police contacted her. Like, social media takes away
I
a lot
wonder
of
how
things.
that happened.
The
Like,
story.
I mean, no, like just how his mom found out on social media. How was she almost the last somebody to know?
Because I guess I don't have social
She might have
media.
been asleep.
Now, if Kevin Samuels is my son, I'm watching. Because, son, what are you doing out here? So if you don't know who Kevin Samuels is, what we'll do is we'll send you over to the Vital Show page or to either of our pages to get the story on him and what happened. I shared it during the week in the Feng Shui, just saying at first when I reported it, it was alleged. But then immediately after, it was a final report that Kevin Samuels had died from cardiac arrest. And people showed some weird feelings about
Yeah,
that.
that's fair.
But we
weird.
gotta go. So we're gonna continue this conversation for about 5 minutes on the live. So if you're not watching the live, go ahead and get on there. Thank y'all for tuning in tonight. Happy Mother's Day to all of you. We'll talk to you next Sunday right here on B94.9 WATV, where on Sunday nights the V stands for vital. Y'all be vital.
Gotta say congratulations. Out to Frederick Starts got him a $100 gift card courtesy of Santa Fe Massage and Wellness. You are among lucky winners with a $100 gift card courtesy of Santa Fe Massage.
Kevin Samuels, really quickly before we get out of here. People are so evil.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that type of response to somebody that was doing something that people may not be fond of or saying like I don't know what I was expecting once the story broke, but like once it was confirmed that he was dead, some of the comments that I saw about this man being deceased is very strange. Like they had real live hate for him, and
They make it memes up and everything.
so do y'all?
I'm not a fan of Kevin Samuels, but I didn't have anything to say about his death. My condolences to his family because that's a life that's lost. But I didn't have anything else to say about it. I didn't have like just disgust or hate for the man. I don't know him. He displayed his opinions on a regular basis.
And he said that we were
Trash,
leftovers,
basically.
35 and up, between 27. What did he say? What I think 37, some age group.
35.
And I also feel like he's a homosexual.
35.
That's what I feel like he's a homosexual as well. So I'm not listening to the opinion of a homosexual
About black women.
About black women. Like, you don't like women anyway, so why am I listening to what you
But
got to say
I've
about
read
me?
some things here lately.
He had
that
3 failed
showed
marriages.
him in a light where he gave the same perception to men.
He
as
started
all
that way.
men now. Yeah. So
So
I think
maybe
he was
he
an
was
equal
a-
opportunist.
What's the word that I'm looking for?
Hater.
He's a what did he call
A
him?
troller.
I believe that.
Maybe he's a troller. So he was known by trolling.
And he made a lot of money doing it.
Lil Nas X said he was a troller. That's how he got out. So maybe he was using that to try to get on there or whatever the case. But
I just don't give that much energy to people to things that don't you know it.
I mean, he's talking about-
That's his opinion. even if it was about me, that's still his opinion. And so other people are really bothered by him, and they're really bothered by his death and what he stood for. But the fact that when he died, the woman that was there with him, aka a companion, the last Instagram live that he actually did, he was telling her like, go over there, like I'm about to start back on my live, and you still talking or whatever was going on. Well, they showed her, and that's what Kyle
that's
said.
because she's a nurse, and they would say like, how did she really help him when he went into cardiac arrest? Like, because you knew what to do.
First
But
of all,
what you do?
It's so crazy because Color Purple came
All right, guys.
I'm out, y'all.
Thank you so much for watching and for listening. We will talk to you on next Sunday. Tune in the morning, 10 a.m. Y'all have a good night.